On Monday, my boss told me that our recycling group was having its annual gala next week, offered me some discount tickets, and told me that I was in charge of coming up with giveaways for our clients. She said not to worry about it too much, but that the gifts should be appropriate, imaginative, affordable, memorable, and green. And I said, green is in the color green? And she said, no, green is in, green. And I said, okay. I went straight to work on a mind map to lay out my thoughts, and after about an hour I had this and a headache. So I called an emergency brainstorming meeting with the two guys I usually have lunch with, Ernie and Bert from sales. They're really cool. And instead of going to the cafeteria, we got some sandwiches and used one of the conference rooms that has a flip chart. So I put my mind map on the flip chart, and we had an intense 1-hour discussion. And at the end of the hour, the mind map looked like this. In our defense, Bert's tuna sandwich smelled off, and that was a bit unsettling. On Monday afternoon, I sat at my desk and stared at my mind map, hoping something would jump out at me. And nothing did, and my stomach started to feel burny. At some point I must have screamed, because a small crowd formed around my desk. That happens sometimes. That night I didn't sleep well at all, but when I got to the office on Tuesday I attacked the mind map with renewed energy. I even skipped lunch, and after a day of hard work I had this and 3 days left to come up with a good idea. I guess I must have looked a bit off at dinner because my youngest, she's 5, asked me if I was okay, and I said Daddy was fine but needed to think of a good idea at work and it was hard. And she said that I should ask my friends, and I said that I had. And she said that when Danny's big brother wanted to ask his friends things, he bogged about it. And I said, bog? And she said, bog. And then her big brother, he's 10, said she means blog. And I said, blog? And he said, blog. And I said, blog? And I think I blinked twice, and then he said, what do you live in, a box? And I said, no, but I work in one. So on Wednesday I asked Ernie, Bert was home with a stomach problem, if he knew what blogging was. And he said that the guy who knows about cool things had mentioned it. So I asked the guy who knows about cool things, and he said that blogging was a good way to get ideas from different people in the company. Tap the wisdom of crowds is what he said. And that I could do that using IBM Lotus Connections, which our company has. So I started a blog, which is just a way to have open discussions with big groups of people. It was pretty easy, and I wrote my first entry asking people to help, and offering discount tickets and eternal gratitude to anyone who had ideas I could use. I even included a scan of my mind map, just in case someone could make sense of it. By lunchtime, I had a couple of responses and some good ideas, and a few people had even recommended my blog, which made it stand out and easier to find. In the early afternoon, Allie from Legal, she's a popular blogger who's full of good ideas, suggested that the gifts be made out of old tin cans, and then the ideas really started rolling in. One guy in the shops, Herman, even offered to help out by making whatever we could think of. On Thursday, I wrote another blog entry asking people to vote so we could pick the top idea, and by the end of the day, we had a clear winner. Herman was able to make some prototypes for my Friday afternoon meeting with the boss, and he even made them green. My boss loved them. I guess my only regret in all this is I didn't know about blogging on Monday, because then I would have saved myself 2 stressful days, 2 sleepless nights, a headache, 1 bad lunch, 1 skipped lunch, and a reputation as a screaming lunatic. What's more, Bert would never have been botulized. So once again, I find myself realizing that Web 2 isn't just about being social. It's about being smart and harnessing the knowledge, creativity, and skills of broad networks. And that's pretty powerful stuff.